Hello! Hi! How are we doing?
I'm doing good.
Apart from the hunger, sorry. And everything. So today we're going to go straight to the point, really, because our guest needs to rush back for marital duties. So we're going to go really fast so we can liberate her before we do our games that we are used to doing here. Today we are all in, well, we are not all in, but if you notice, most of you guys have the pink ribbon, Pink October. Do we know what Pink October is?
To fight against breast cancer, sensitizing people, and they use the color pink. I don't know why. I know they usually organize marches, like what happened yesterday. Yeah, that's all I know.
That's the idea you have. Okay.
Pink October is one of those activities that one of the first activities that I reported when I created my platform back to Voices, because I work with the NGOs and I eventually work with the Rwanda Yoga Foundation, and I covered their event in Douala. That was when I came to know about the Pink October and the stories around breast cancer and how we should. I don't want to talk about how we should fight against breast cancer.
Standing ovation for Mrs. I say it to Mrs. Martha AGBORNYENTY. Standing ovation. Standing ovation for Mrs. Martha AGBORNYENTY. Is she not beautiful? Please tell us a bit about yourself, because I always believe that we can't give justice to introducing people. I prefer when you talk about yourself. What do you do? Why are you here?
MS rightly said, my name is Martha AGBORNYENTY. Actually, Ashumata. Most people know me as Ashumata, but status changed, and along the line, I must take a man's name. So my name is Martha AGBORNYENTY. My name is Martha AGBORNYENTY, and I'm actually based in Yaoundé and Douala. Why? Because in Yaoundé I school and Douala, my home is there. And then I just had to show up for MS for the show today. And I'm equally running a blog, a midwifery-based blog called Max's Midwifery Diary on Facebook. And I run a foundation called the Home and Baby Foundation, which was launched in this very room. And I'm a young midwife leader with the International Confederation of Midwives. And
so many caps, like.
Yeah, and I'm the national representative of young midwives or youth midwives in Cameroon.
Wow.
Thank you.
So basically it's about health, midwife, it's Pink October. Is it relevant? Do you think it is, how can I say? Do you think it's just a myth, like people just talk about it? Or do you think it's something which makes sense, like women actually believe it, or it's just a period, everybody just wears things, oh, Pink October, let's go and march and everything?
Okay, let's go down history lane. I always say let's take black and white. So, Pink October originally originated way back from 1985. I think it has been 40 years now, and it was originated by a British-Sweden pharmaceutical company called AstraZeneca company. I'm sure most have heard about it now with all this COVID. Yes. So it originated far back as that. And before that, the color, I think it's the color orange that was used before it changed to pink. Yes. So that's the pink initially, it's a more feminine color. Why? Because it's mostly associated with women. Mostly women have breast cancer. I mean, we're going to go down to the side that men too can have breast cancer, but it is mostly associated with women. That's why it has the feminine color pink. That's why it has the feminine color pink. So the Pink October month as a whole is a month that is set aside to commemorate the fact that we have the presence of cancer. There is cancer in our environment, particularly breast cancer, which is the most prominent cancer that exists. globally, not just in Cameroon, but globally. I don't want to talk across the question.
Yes. Okay, so what?
Breast cancer is cancer that affects the breast. But the question now is, what is cancer? Cancer is the abnormal multiplication of cells in the body. When your cells abnormally, because our body functions with cells, not so. There's this mnemonics I had back in school: those cells, tissues, organs, and systems. Those are the things that make up the body. So cells are there. They are the base. They are the basis for which tissues are formed. Tissues are the basis for which organs are formed. I hope I'm not going to say that.
No,
Okay.
oh, well, we went.
At least. Tissues are the basis for which organs are formed, and organs are the basis for which systems are formed. That's why you have the reproductive system, you have the all sorts of systems in your body. So once those cells grow at a particular rate, that's why you see babies grow faster, because their cellular productive rate is higher. So they have to replicate faster so that they will grow. So for them it's kind of normal. For us adults, it's abnormal when your cells replicate at a higher rate, or when they generate, or when they develop faster than normal.
So now the question people always ask, and I'm always very confused too, is what actually causes it to multiply? Like, because yes, the cells multiply and everything, but you need to know so that you're able to know what to do to avoid. I don't know if you can prevent the cells from multiplying or not, but you need to be able to know what's up. Like, why are the cells multiplying? Is it because like recently with the marchings and everything, I just had the assumption that maybe lack of sports can make you get breast cancer, because that's what I'm always seeing, like marching against breast cancer, marching. That's basically what I see as activities. So I'm like, okay, is it that sport activities prevents it, or it makes it go? I'm asking like a layman. Please tell us.
Realistically speaking, this is our body. We have no control of what goes on inside there. Is there any person that has sent his or her hand inside the body's correct someday? Except you're a relation, you're village people in the night. I don't know, no one knows. We don't have control of what goes on inside here. What we can do is only to physically cater for it the best ways we can. Probably that's the reason for the walk and all that.
Because basically that's the only activity I see.
But that's just one part of its prevention. Are we already done with prevention list?
No.
Okay. But that's just one part. So I'm being very careful to just get to the point and answer your questions. So we have no control of what goes on inside there. So when it comes to the cells abnormally replicating, you can hardly even detect immediately that there's something wrong or that cells are replicating. What causes those cells to replicate abnormally? Our cells, they die, they generate and then regenerate. Other ones die and then there's a lot going on inside. It's a whole process. So sometimes when those cells die and then it's not properly recycled by the body, it tends to affect the others. And so it affects the other one by causing it to think that, okay, this is normal for you to actually take my gene and then you can grow and then produce more and it's going to go faster. So it entices the other one to start producing more and more cells abnormally. So it begins forming like a cluster, like many at the same time, which is abnormal. So I cannot go into defining what stage 0, 1, or 2. You can yes, but it depends on the stage. Like if it's one that is just developing, they can easily just do a surgery and remove it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's affecting their organs, with the removal of their organs, they cannot. So they just have to keep doing like time to time chemotherapy and checks to see whether it's the cells that the multiplication rate has reduced or not.
Okay. So can you share with us an experience you've had with someone who had cancer? Someone maybe you've lived with has been around you, like just the experience.
Well, I think I already shared it in the hospital. That's the only case I've had, yes. But with respect to what one of young midwife leaders from I think Haiti, what she shared with us when we met out of the country. She said there was this lady who actually gave birth and both of her breasts were fed up, based on breast cancer, and she was unable to breastfeed normally. So even before her delivery, her care was different. Normally the differential care is automatic in that case because the woman, she has no other way to do formula breastfeeding. Like all the milk come from to feed the baby needs to eat. So formula meal or formula feeding is already put in place. Like she already buys the things while coming to deliver.
So is there a possibility that you give birth? You actually had a two births, but one is touched or affected, maybe stage 0 or stage 1. Can you breastfeed?
No, you can't really want breastfeed. If not, you're going to remember there are still breast issues in the other one, despite the fact that it's pregnant. Not that the milk, the fact that you've already how can I put it? The fact that you already started breastfeeding one breast, you already tell the other breast that okay, it's okay to produce milk, and it can cause inflammation in the other. The milk can start settling in there, but there's no nipple, there's nothing, and then it can even lead to something else.
But nipple can be there, right?
No. When they do, have we ever seen a breast cancer, a breast that has been operated on breast cancer?
Okay, let's go to this point. So many people say, I always like say many people, let me not say it's from me or from a particular person. Many people say that when you don't know that you have cancer, there's no problem. But once you start knowing about it, that stress, depression starts killing you. And that's what actually stirs the disease. Is it just a myth? Or it's actually true?
It's actually not a myth. It's not a myth. Why? Because stress of, when you're tense or when you get to know about something, anxiety, the stress, the depression that comes with it causes neurotransmitters. I'll go into science. I don't know the other word to use. It causes neurotransmitters in your body, which is like a reaction to that stress that you're having. So it produces some certain hormones that causes you to always have like fright. Okay. For you to be aware that there's something in you, and then it causes the cells to instead replicate faster. So you can probably, if you have stage 2 cancer, you can go to stage 4.
Wow.
At the faster rate because of that mentality. But if you're someone who is mentally strong,
but how can you get mentally strong when you learn that kind of use?
Again, with my benchmate Fanny, I was just sharing with her recently that people have different reactions to pain. People have different reactions to situations. They can shoot. They can be bullets running outside there now, and then I'm just
people are different.
I'm just sitting there.
And Marissa
already inside the toilet. Or she has already fainted. There are different reactions, just like in the Bible. I'll take us down Bible Day. I love the Bible. I'll take us down Bible Day. So you remember, who knows the story about when Lazarus died and then Jesus came only later on?
Yeah.
Yes. So what was Martha's reaction? Me? What was Martha's reaction? Martha ran right the gate and went and met Jesus while he was there at the gate. Like, Father, why were you not here? She was really waiting. Why did you not come? You already knew that this would happen. Why did you not come and save our brother? If you were here, our brother would not have died. All this, she was really waiting. That was her reaction to shock, to her losing her brother. But Mary was at home. She was chilling and waiting for Jesus to land because he will finally arrive. So those are two different reactions. It's the same way with this cancer situation. I can tell you now as a doctor, I can break the news to you that you see you have probably stage 3 cancer and it's already this advanced. And you're like, Jesus, it's not my portion. Back to sender. Village people cannot see me and all that, all the trauma in the doctor's office and all those things. And then their body is already getting stressed mentally and all that. But if you're just calm, like, okay, what am I to do, doctor? You see that you cooperate faster, you cooperate better, and those kind of people are more liable to get treated, or the cancer rate is more likely to be suppressed faster than one who is more agitated. So those are the two extremes. I hope I'm telling you.
Yeah, but how do we get the agitated people to calm down? Because for me, I'm agitated. I'm the one in the time that I'm sick today. I'll surely die the next day because I'll overthink, go to Google, start searching the symptoms and everything to get worse.
Well, my sister, I don't think you're the one for Google because Google is my best friend. Google is my best friend because I'm a pure Anglophone studying in a pure Francophone area.
Yes,
in a pure Francophone school. So Google, in fact, I've already said to myself that on my graduation day, my speech, I'm going to thank Google. In fact, even on my graduation, I'm going to thank Google. Well, how do we get them to actually calm down, or how do we get an agitated, or even a calm person? Because there's some people who are calm now. But
Yeah, that's
they'll go out and cry and agitate only out the doctor's office. So I think support is the word.
Okay.
Support.
Supporting them.
Because there's a lot of stigmatization that goes on about cancer. No matter how much we walk from here to my 17 or from here to Douala or from here to Yaoundé tomorrow, even the people who are walking and holding those things, they still have that stigma. They still feel stigmatized. Like if they go to the hospital and tell them they have, say you have cancer, they will just break down automatically. So I think support, we should not be judgmental. One thing that I've learned in this life personally, like my own personal, is never to judge any person. Whether you're sick, whether you're even at the point of death, whether they say, oh, this one died because of drugs, because she was drunk, whether she died because of... I don't even want to question it. Because people have their different reasons, they have their different ideologies why, there's so much going on in the world now that you don't even carry your own cross, let them carry their cross. Don't go and baba somebody, it's just like things for some.
Okay.
So support is the word.
Support is the word. So preventive mechanisms. How can we prevent it?
I think we cannot talk about prevention when we're just talking about risk factors or the things that expose you to it. Firstly, there's genetics or your race, your background, where you're from. You can come from a background where, cancer is high, people have your village, people are just dying like that, we have cancer.
We should leave village people.
Someone gets to get me back there. Yes. So you may come from a background that has a cancer history.
Okay.
Or people are just dying like yeah, it has a serious, it's not even candy, it has an effect, a serious effect. It has an effect on you. Why? Because the genes, when you're born, you don't just come with your own gene. It's a mixed gene of your father and your mother. And your father's gene is not just your father's gene. Your father's gene is from his own father and mother. And his own father and mother's gene is from their own father and mother. So it comes to you, it comes down. So race is one very important factor. Another thing is your environment. In countries like Ukraine, where there's war, bombing, I don't want to call Cameroon because God forbid that Cameroon gets to that level. Our country is still in phase and everything. In countries like that, they are very much exposed to harmful radiation that can cause gene mutations, and those genes can mutate and then begin to replicate to cells that are harmful. And then another thing, another risk factor is, I think this one will just keep my mind, but anyway, I think I'll remember it along the line. So the question was
Preventive mechanisms.
Mechanism when it comes to cancer, keeping fit is one very important thing. Oh, the one I forgot is the risk factors is obesity. So if you're obese, just like you rightly said at the beginning, if you're obese, you're more prone to have cancer because you already have very jam-packed cells in your body. Yeah, and then.
So I'm going to have cancer.
So I think that it was supposed to be like a skill you come and climb.
Me, my best form.
Okay, so obesity is also a risk factor. So the preventive mechanisms, keeping fit, I think that's one of the strategies why people are walking up and down in October to promote or to support the movement with breast cancer. Keeping fit, yeah?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Regarding one of the
Yes, breast cancer, skin cancer, all those cancers. Now you are exposed to your environment. Just like you go out there and you are exposed to car gas and all those things, you inhale it not. You inhale it, you know that it only goes through your nose. But then it enters into your body. You are like smelling your respiratory system, it goes through your respiratory system and only God knows what it does in your system. So it's the same thing with cancer in a way. When you go out there, you're exposed to UV radiation, probably in the war zone and all those things, then you don't know which part it actually affects. For some, that's why you see, there are some people that can have all those cancers put together in their body. Those are people whose immune system
This is leadership with loss.
They have done meeting.
Those are people whose immune systems are really suppressed, or their immune, because there are just people like that whose immune systems are low, that's aside sickle cell and sickle cell sufferers. But there are people whose immune systems are just down. So you may just be that person whose system is very fragile, and then you're exposed to all those radiations in that zone, and it affects you, and causes not only breast cancer but something else. Developing healthy habits, eating well.
Is pizza bad?
Am I supposed to answer that question? Is pizza bad, people?
depends on the rate at which
Are they? That's logic. You're bringing too much sense. We all know pizza is fancy, right? I love pizza. I know that it's fancy. But when I'm craving, I will eat it. Go calm down. But it depends on how you ration it. It still involves on the healthy habit.
If you do a lot of exercise.
A lot of exercise to burn it in. As I said, there are some very slim people.
They eat.
Have cholesterol. They eat. They feel that they eat the food is just. But deep inside they are already building up cholesterol. There are some people who are healthier than slim people.
Yeah.
Some of them may just be healthier than you.
It's true.
Yes,
It's very true.
Thank you.
You have
Alright.
like
So the next thing is, what is the role of men in the fight for breast cancer? How can they help us? How can they educate themselves? What's up with the men?
Those of you who say that you don't need men in your life.
Are the men in the house?
Yes,
Can I say oh?
yes.
So we all, like I was saying, we all need men in our lives, even if not as a husband, but as a friend, or we all need men. The same way men always need women, right? So I meet this woman and then I'm asking her, and then she begins narrating and telling me, oh, she had cancer of the breast, but it was diagnosed just on one side of the breast, and the other side is still fine. So the doctors just had to take it out very fast, hoping that it has not crossed already, and it was her husband that has been supporting her all through. Why did you guys say that once? Her husband is supporting her all through. Why? Because once she was diagnosed of this cancer, mindful of the fact that she has children, immediately she was diagnosed of this cancer, her husband was the one pushing her and telling her that you have to get this surgery done immediately because I've quite heard a lot of things about it, and if you don't do it fast, it's going to spread. So what was her husband acting like at that point? Her husband was acting like a support. A serious support, because who knows, the one would have agitated like back then, reacting and like, oh, I can never have cancer, I'm going to start a prayer line, to cast it down, all those things. But then, as you are praying and then you are tense in that prayer, the thing is replicating, and not that God has forgotten you, we're not going to preach, but sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
The big comfortable is through that situation. Nobody can battle with God's decision. So that was her case, and her husband really stood as a great support. Her children never even knew she was in the hospital or operated for that. Even neighbors, nobody came to visit her. It was just she and her husband.
What is your advice to us, the men? What do you want to leave us with? That we can remember you. Say, okay, Marty came and the 9th episode of the business. What do you want us to remember?
First of all, I think 9 is my magic number. 9. I was born on the 9th of May. I launched my foundation year on the 9th of April 2021, and then I got married on the 9th of April 2022. Wow. So 9 is a 9 series, and I'm here on MS Touch on the 9th episode. So it's a 9 thing. Yeah. So cancer is real, not just breast cancer, but every form of cancer was spoken about. It's so real. It's so real that even the least expected person, the person you can least expect that has cancer. Probably still undiagnosed, but the person does. So it's real. And even when after the person dies and someone confides in you, please don't stigmatize. Because I think we are shedding a little less light on the emotional aspect of this whole thing, but it's a part that cannot be, it cannot be undermined. We need to talk more about it, because the more you talk about something, the more the society is aware of it, and the more we ourselves are aware of it, and you don't look low on it. Like, even with the same way we look at HIV as a top disease, let me put it that we talk in quotes, as a top disease, something that has spread across the world and they are still looking for solutions till today. It's the same way we should look at cancer. It's a deadly killer and even kills faster than HIV or AIDS. But like COVID-19, it kills, cancer kills, and we should support everybody around us. The same way we call on men to support women, women should support women.
Yes.
So Pink October it's cheers to AstraZeneca pharmaceutical company that came up with the idea 40 years ago. They are doing us quite good. Wow. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together. So before our guest goes,
gift match with your dress.
Pink or
I think the men in this one are thinking too deep.
There are two. Yeah.